The people yearn for hot takes like they're stuck in the middle of the Sahara Desert with no water. Their only choice is either hot takes or water. And you know what they're going to decide every time? The fucking hot takes. I literally made a post late last night, maybe 6, 7, maybe 8, just asking if y'all got any JoJo hot takes, let me hear them. And y'all didn't disappoint. By the time me recording this, which is only like 12 hours later, we got a good amount of hot takes. And some of them are extra spicy, I won't lie. Coming up first, you have Erina Pendleton is a more tougher woman than Lisa ever was. Erina never remarried after Jonathan's death, but Lisa remarried after George II's death. Now, do I think that makes Erina tougher than Lisa? No. I don't think that makes her tougher. I just think Lisa did not want to be lonely for her entire life. Y'all gotta remember, Lisa only had one kid. At least with Erina, she literally spent the majority of her life raising children. She spent the majority of her life post-Jonathan raising the next 2 generations. Not only just her daughter and her son, but also her grandson too. I do feel like Erina's tougher. I just don't think that's the reason. I also don't think it's by a large margin because again, Lisa, no fear, walked into a whole castle full of vampires. Niggas who are around Dio's level. And really was disrespecting them with ease. Looking at them dead in their face, looking at the pyramid dead in their face. She literally made a fucking deal with cars right as all the vampires were going to try to beat her up. She got her scarf out, she was ready to whoop all of them. The random twist that Joseph cheated is such a random thing to add. I get that it was necessary for Josuke to be born, and the fact that he's always been a sucker for the ladies, but I feel like there could have been a better way to go about that all, you know? Despite his nature in part 2, he's much more loyal than most would assume. Which, yeah. See, as the years have gone by, I've always flip-flopped on how I felt about Joseph cheating on his wife because sometimes I feel like that's somewhat in character, but other times you look at throughout the rest of part 2 and even throughout part 3, you're like, is that in character? It really doesn't feel like it. It feels like he would do anything for the people he cared about. I mean, hell, he even had his assistants lie to his own wife and be like, yeah, he's just away visiting your daughter, he'll be back, they're all good. Just because he didn't want her to worry or be afraid of what was going to happen to him if he would die or whatever. Kakyoin deserved to make it to part 4 more than Joseph. You know, I kind of agree with that. Honestly, Joseph in part 4, he doesn't really do much except be like a funny old father. You know, at least with Kakyoin, we could have seen some very interesting dynamics, and we could have gotten the official confirmation of Kakyoin being from Morio, which that's a long-standing theory. I don't remember if Araki confirmed it or not. I could be wrong. Part 3 worst part, part 6 tied with it as the worst. No. Jotaro didn't have to die. I disagree. He had to die in part 6. That's really all that had to happen. He had to die in part 6. Because even Jotaro making it back was already miraculous. Jotaro making it back at the right time, right before Jolene got shot by Pucci picking up a security guard's gun, that was miraculous. Jotaro almost literally having an opportunity to hurt Pucci after Anasui jumped in front of him to give him more time and more of a chance. Again, miraculous. But we would have lost out on so much character development and who Jotaro's character actually was and what Araki was trying to show us throughout every time Jotaro appeared had he went for the kill on Pucci. Because again, he goes for the kill on Pucci, Jolene probably gets hurt or dies, which would cause Jotaro, someone we've seen literally only go out his way for family and close friends that he really cares about. Of course he's going to protect his daughter. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like he had to die in that moment because it was perfect symbolism for what he was at the end of the day. He has all these actions, he acts tough, he acts hard, but at the end of the day, he will always look out for his family, even at the detriment of himself. Part 5 could have had so much more potential from a storytelling perspective. With it being a crime drama, we could have just used stands for plot twists instead of traditional fights. I actually do agree with that. You know, I feel like I already have Part 5 rated pretty high. You know, I really do like Part 5 a lot. But one of the things that could have put it just a little bit higher would have been the plot twist. Don't get me wrong, we already got some good ones in Part 5, like when Bruno came back from the dead after everyone thought he was dead. And even watching the chase down and Giorno ended up actually getting Requiem, it has a fair amount of plot twists. You know, even though I feel like Requiem was a plot twist or whatever. But if it were to be stronger, a little bit more plot twist, like if Araki did not take out some of the dark elements he originally had in the story, like Fugo turning against Bushiroad's group and trying to kill them when they go against the boss, or Giorno being revealed as a woman midway through the part. If you would have kept those elements, I feel like Part 5 might have been a little bit stronger, but I don't feel like it was so detrimental to the point where it super affected him, you know what I mean? And to end it off today, we have Avdol was a wasted and neglected character. His stand was strong, and he's only been in fights with other characters, never solo. And that is 100% true. If you've been on this channel long enough, you know that I like talking about Avdol. I like giving y'all clarity on what Araki felt about Avdol, because he said in multiple interviews what he felt about Avdol. And he's also even said that he felt like when he brought him back, he should have given him a bigger role, because he had already basically almost killed this man. You know, like he already almost killed him off. So he felt like he should have gave him a bigger role, should have did more, but he felt like his power was just too everywhere. Fire, you can do a lot with fire, and there's almost no restrictions you can really put on it. If y'all enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, we're on the road to 5K, so anything helps. And until next time, peace.